This weekend, I was able to go to Dreamville Festival in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is my first time going to anything like this. I want to give everyone my point of view and rate my experience with the performers and how they did at the festival. First person I wanted to start off with is this artist called Marquise Clay, and here's a clip that I was able to obtain from the festival.
12 years old, listening close to older niggas crying for me. Money on my back distracting me from reaching my peak. Abruptly brushing the dirt from both of my shoulders to become the beholder and watch my cup running over.
This wasn't my first time listening to his music, but it was my first time attending a festival like that and hearing him in person. But from what I heard at the festival, I did really enjoy. He also kept the crowd pretty entertained, and I definitely want to check out more of his music. But overall, I would give him like a 5.7 out of 10. Okay, now this next performer, his name is Omen, and this is just like a more R&B style music, but this is the clip that I got from his performance.
Yeah. Yeah. I never knew things be like this. I'm so blue. I'm so priceless. I've never felt quite like this. Finding the words I can say.
Again, Omen, he was a more R&B type style, which I did really like. The crowd also loved it too, clearly in the clips. He kept them pretty entertained. I wish I knew more of his music because I felt like I would have enjoyed it more, at least his performance. But overall, I would give him a solid 5.5 out of 10 because it wasn't, anything that stood out too much, but I still really enjoyed it. Now, this next artist's name is Loot, and here's just a clip that I got from the festival.
Shit for the look, so fucking pay me when I book, cause I ain't got time to be playing. I'ma keep building my brand, turn my dreams to a plan. Tell my niggas that we can. Sorry in advance, cause I wouldn't change if I could. Put up on my neck of the wood, my pops like, look at my son. That nigga said that he would.
Okay, if I'm being totally honest, I don't remember much from his performance. It didn't really stick out too much to me, but from what I did remember, I did enjoy a few songs that he performed. But overall, I would give him like a solid 5 out of 10 as well. Okay, now this next artist's name is Sir, and here's the clips that I got from his performance.
21, I'm headed to Sonoma. I ain't turning down no face. I don't need any soap. I might fly you down to Florida tonight. Where the water is warm. Maybe we can do what we like.
Okay, now Sir's performance was pretty solid. Before the festival, I didn't really know who Sir was. I did listen to a few of his songs, and they were pretty cool. Honestly, his performance went really well. I enjoyed all of it. He played the popular songs. The crowd enjoyed it. He kept them entertained. His energy was up. And he talked in between each song as well. He also brought up a fan when he performed, but unfortunately, I did not record that part. I wish I did, though. Overall, I would give him like a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, now on the schedule, the next artist was supposed to be Jessie Reyes. I would rate her performance, but I wasn't there because I ended up going to get food, had to fill up on water, and I just ended up skipping her performance, so I don't want to really rate that since I wasn't there. But the next artist I'll rate is Tusi.
Let's go. I'm on the stage right now. Sing it. In the crowd, you know what if you found as they sing along. I say you look good, I don't know. No lashes, even better when you. I see the look on your face. Hey, look, Drizzy, we gotta run that shit all the way back.
Okay, now Tusi's performance was fire. At first, he wasn't on the lineup, but it was some last minute changes because of the weather. His performance did stick out the most to me, at least that day. But I had no idea he was from Raleigh, so that was really cool. He also played a lot of his popular songs that I knew. Kept the energy up for the crowd, and he had a small speech to give at the end of it. I thought I had a clip of it, but I think I ended up deleting it by accident. Something else he also did too is he signed some of his Jordans and his shirt, and he threw it into the crowd, which is pretty fucking cool. But overall, I would give his performance like a 9.5 out of 10. Okay, now the next set was Earth Gang. And here's a few clips that I got from their performance. Okay, I feel like the clips don't justify how they sounded in person. They did come with the energy, but the sad part about the performance was it was hard to hear them, and the mic just kept cutting in and out, at least in person, and I could just barely hear it. But unfortunately, I feel wrong trying to rate it since I ended up leaving and I couldn't really hear it, so I won't give them a rating at all. But on the other hand, the next artist is Sean Paul, and here's a few clips that I got from his performance. Okay, now Sean Paul, I enjoyed his music. He also came with a lot of energy too. Didn't know all of his songs, but he did keep the crowd pretty hyped. He also had some dancers on the stage, but overall, I would give his performance like a 7 out of 10. Okay, now next on the schedule is City Girls, and here's a few clips I got from them.
Hey! I'ma ride you like a rodeo. Here you go. I'll tie you like a rodeo. Hey, cowgirl. Like a 55 stuff that really. You want a menage with it. Maybe bitch can't fuck with me, cause I came from the bottom, from the fence to the shot. Broke bitches ain't saying a thing.
Okay, now at this point in the festival, I realized the crowd had tripled. I was surrounded by so many people, but the City Girls, they showed out. I really enjoyed their performance. They kept everyone hyped. But overall, I would give them a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, now on the schedule, the next performer was supposed to be Ari Lennox, but I was so tired at this point and it was so hot. I just laid down during the performance. I didn't even record it, but I just had to get myself together, so I'll just skip her rating. But the next person is Lil Durk, and here's a few clips I got from his performance.
Let's What you want some shoes, Jimmy? What the hell I do? Right up, baby, but she gets a smile and she ain't used to this, and she ain't used to shit. I'm just laughing, could have been a pill. The way I move my lips, I just speed, could have been the trial. The way I push the whip, you a hoe, could have been a bitch. The way you throw a bitch, I'm on that, right up to the screw, cause this a mega lick. He got bricks, plus the nugget ice, and it matches wrist, now it's like 6. Told her hit his phone, meet her in the whip, but he ain't go.
Okay, now Lil Durk's performance was pretty crazy. I did enjoy it, even though I didn't know all of his songs. And another thing, during the performance, people somehow broke into VIP and started running up where it wasn't that much space, and it was just filled up really quickly, which is pretty crazy. But he also shouted out a lot of people during the performance, and I wish it was a little different with how he like opened up, at least with the songs. I felt like it could have been better, but it seemed like he saved it with all the songs that he played at the end. But overall, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, now next up is a legendary Usher, and here's a few clips from his performance.
You're searching for somebody that'll take you out and give you. Well, come here, baby, and I gotta show you up. You know all you gotta do is tell me what you
Okay, now Usher's performance, I didn't stay for the full thing because I wanted to beat traffic, so I ended up leaving a little early. But from what I did see, it was amazing. He played a few of his new songs, a lot of his old ones. The crowd was feeling everything. I wish the performance was a little bit longer. Kind of wish I stayed a little bit longer too. But overall, it was pretty awesome. He also played a prank on the crowd too. But for a score, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I also wanted to go over food while I was there. I didn't have much because I knew it was going to be expensive. And I also had breakfast that morning, so I was trying to like save some money. But the first thing I had was this picture of the custom festival beer, which is $15. It was outrageous. I'm surprised I even paid that much for it. But I'm not a huge fan of beer either, so it felt pretty low for me. And I haven't had anything like it, so it's kind of hard to describe the flavor. But it wasn't like good at all, honestly. I had to like force myself to drink it. But I didn't want to waste it because it was $15. And honestly, I would give it like a solid 2 out of 10. Then after the beer, I ended up going to get some chicken tenders. They had so many options while I was there, and I couldn't figure out what to get. So I seen somebody walking around with it, and I just decided to get it. Don't regret it at all. Now, normally I wouldn't pay $18 for some chicken tenders, but that's how much they were, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just go ahead and get it." It was worth it. The fries that they had with it tasted pretty good. It was a little too salty for my liking, but even cold, it tasted pretty good. Then the chicken tenders, they were juicy, moist. Wasn't the best without sauce, but with ketchup, it definitely was like the best chicken tenders I've had. So I would give it like an 8 out of 10. Now that was just the end of day one, and after that I was so beat I couldn't even move for day two, but I ended up, of course, going. But day one had nothing on day two, so if you're watching this, go ahead and check out the second day at Dreamville.